Hey parents, have you ever thought about who really gets to make those big life decisions for your kids when you're going through a divorce or a legitimation case? Legal custody might be more important than you even realize. Let's break this down because legal custody can be confusing. So picture this, you and your child's other parent are splitting up. Maybe it's a divorce, or maybe you were never married and the relationship that you had with them is ending. You both want what's best for your child, but your ideas about what's best are not always the same. And therein lies the problem. You might want your child to go to a particular school, for instance, but the other parent has a different preference. You might want your child to get vaccinated, but the other parent may have concerns about vaccinations. You might want your child to join the theater club, but they may want them to be on the pickleball team. You might want them to get braces, but the other parent doesn't think they need them yet or at all, and argues that their teeth are just fine right now. These kinds of decisions fall under legal custody, and this is why understanding it is so crucial. Now, most people think of custody in terms of where a child lives, who they spend their nights with, what their weekly schedule looks like, their holiday schedule, but that's actually physical custody, it's not legal custody. So legal custody is different. It's not about where your child lives, it's about who gets the right to make certain decisions that shape the child's life. This includes things like non-emergency healthcare decisions, education decisions, religious decisions, and extracurricular activities. Think about the word here, H-E-R-E. The H is for healthcare decisions, non-emergency. The E is for education decisions, the R is for religious decisions, and the second E is for extracurricular activity decisions. Now, some parents have sole legal custody, which means one parent makes all these decisions without needing the other's approval or input. But in many cases, in most cases really, parents have joint legal custody, which means both parents must discuss these big decisions and try to come to an agreement. That sounds simple, right? But if you've ever been in a situation where you and your ex, or soon-to-be ex, disagree on the best thing for your child, you know it's not always easy to reach agreement on these things, and sometimes it just can't be done. The answer is that for these big 4 decision areas, remember the H-E-R-E that I just went over with you, one of the parties is given final decision-making authority. Final decision-making authority still requires that the parent with that final decision authority have a good faith discussion with the other parent, listen to what they have to say, attempt to reach a mutual agreement on the final outcome for that decision, but if one can't be reached, well then they do have the final say. Do not skip the discussion process or you could create real problems for yourself, and they could be expensive problems. Let me give you an example. I had a post-divorce case years ago where the other parent, not my client, had final decision making in education decisions, and they skipped that whole discussion process with my client. They went ahead and enrolled the child in a very expensive private school. They sent my client a bill for thousands of dollars in tuition for a school that my client didn't even know the child was going to. Now, my client didn't pay their portion of the tuition. The other party filed a contempt action, and when we went to court, I pointed out that the other parent never even discussed it with my parent, was in violation of the order for not having discussed it. And when we went to trial, I asked the other parent why they failed to follow the requirement of the order to have a good faith discussion with my client on their desire to send the child to private school rather than to the very good public school that they were already zoned for. And their answer was literally, and I'm pretty much almost quoting here, I knew they wouldn't agree. I didn't feel like hearing it. I didn't feel like having that discussion because I knew I was just going to hear them out and I was just going to make that final decision anyway. So I went ahead and did it. Well, guess what? I won that case from my client. The judge ordered the other parent to pay the full tuition by themselves with absolutely no contribution from my client because they never gave my client the opportunity to voice their thoughts and opinion and to be heard. And they also got censured by the judge, pretty stiff rebuke. So this story is just one example of why it is so important to understand legal custody and to have a solid agreement in place that covers the major areas of decision making. Now, legal custody also refers to the right to access healthcare information about your child from their medical providers, as well as education information about your child from their school. So to summarize what I've just gone over with you, legal custody is about information and rights to make the big decisions. And knowing your rights and your responsibilities as a parent can help avoid conflicts down the road. If you and your co-parent can't agree on these decisions, having the clarity about legal custody issues in your settlement agreement or in a judge's decision, if those determinations are made by the court, will give you the tools to resolve conflicts in most cases without having to constantly be running back to court.
Thank you very much.
Hey, thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like, follow, and turn on the alerts so that you'll get notified of new videos when we post them. Share these videos and leave comments and ask us questions and let us know what topics you'd like for us to cover. Also, join our Facebook group at Georgia Divorce and Custody for even more information, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video.